Well, hi,
Alright.
it's Marcus, and welcome to another Zooming in the Jungle Room. Today we are zooming all the way over to Perth. He's over there for the Perth Fringe. It is Sam Kissajukian, and I got the name right. I know that for sure. His show is called The Museum of Modernia. We're going to find out all about it. Sam, welcome and happy Friday. How are you?
Happy Friday. I'm very well, Marcus. Yourself?
Not too bad, thank you. Hey, I'm really excited. You've got an incredible show, that is, exhibition, all of that. You've got some incredible stuff going on. I want to know all about it. And of course, it's at the Lightroom Gallery at the ILA just down the street there in the city.
Yeah.
An incredible venue. Tell us all about the
Yeah.
show.
Well, firstly, thank you for the interview because the show is a little bit complex, and so it's really nice to have the ability to speak a little bit further on it. So I'm doing two things. Firstly, the show, Museum of Modernia, was born from the show that I did last year at the Adelaide Fringe called 300 Paintings. That show was a 1 hour stand-up comedy show where I used a slideshow and a projector, and I told the story of when I was diagnosed with bipolar, and I had a 5 month manic episode where I produced 300 paintings. And in the previous show, I would show each of the paintings on the screen, and I would tell the story of the manic episode, and each of the paintings recorded my mental states during that time. So that's when I began painting, which was in June 2021. I'd had no experience painting before. Um, my mum's an artist, and I visited a lot of galleries, but it just was out of the blue. And people were really positive about the paintings, and it was lovely. And since that time, I've done numerous exhibitions at galleries and institutions, museums, and then fortunately, someone at ILA came along to the show last year, and they asked me to bring a new show to their space. And so this year's show, the Museum of Modernia, is an extrapolation on that. And they have a 25-meter U-shaped screen, so like surrounds the audience. There's these beautiful LED screens, and they tower above. And I'm going to have the audience in the middle, and then I'm going to free roam around, and I'm going to retell that story. And then what I've been up to in the last year, which is pitching a conceptual art museum for. I think art museums can be better. I love art museums, but I've been to so many around the world, and I think in art you can do anything. And so I think they should be the best experience you could possibly have ever. And so it's almost a little bit like a Shark Tank pitch. I'm like, this is, if I was going to build a museum, this is what it would look like, and this would be all the exhibitions, and this would be the rules of the museum, and this is what the staff would do, and this would be your experience. And POV, take people aside. So it's pretty much me being like, museums should be better. And this is how I do it.
I love that, Sam. Hey, so the pieces in this particular exhibition, this time round, how old are these pieces? Are they all new, or are they pieces that you've collected over the course of the last few years, or what?
Okay, so the actual show itself, I'm going to be using digital assets where I show different imagery and artworks and video. In the gallery next door, I am doing a solo exhibition of paintings. There will be majority paintings that I've done recently. There will be some paintings time-stamped over the first 2.5 years of painting, specifically to different points within the manic episode. But the exhibition as a whole is more focused towards things that I've done recently, reflecting back on the time both when I was diagnosed, and kind of, I guess the paintings in themselves kind of point to like ineffable mental states that I can't really express with words. And so otherwise I would just use words. I wouldn't have made the paintings. And so that's what this exhibition is more about.
Before you were diagnosed, were you an artist in any form at all?
No, not at all. I think I really resisted the idea of putting anything to paper or canvas.
Yep.
I think being around art in my life has probably been osmosis. Osmosis has affected me. But I think also like weirdly starting art so late in life is a bit of a benefit. And having come through stand-up comedy for 10 years, which really focuses around destroying your soul and handling failure and seeing the value in failure, that it really made life very easy when it came to painting because I was very free. I didn't really care. And I was happy to take risks and to destroy work because I could just make another one. Failing in front of yourself, making a painting, hurts a lot less than failing in front of an audience.
Yes.
So
100% for that. So
yeah.
after the diagnosis where you were thinking, you know what, I need to channel this through artwork, going down that path, was that an easy route for you? Did you find that something that came with challenges, or was it really quite an easy tread?
I think that, you know, when I started stand up, it was just hard. Like it was a hard thing, and it was like breaking down your character and you trying to be yourself. You know, like part of performing is like, can I be me in front of other people? And you spend years not being, and it's kind of tragic. And then you come out the other side. I started painting when I quit stand up, so I was like threw in the towel for comedy, and I'm like, I'm done, and I put on beret. I'm like, I'm an artist now, and then I became very mentally ill. And then when I got better, I didn't want to be a comedian, and I didn't want to be an artist. And I think that's a really good place to make art and do comedy, is like not wanting to be the identity of this thing. Like you can still do comedy but not be a comedian, and you can still make art and not be an artist. So I think it was the identity of it that was like trapping me. And so once I got diagnosed and didn't want to be an artist or a comedian anymore, I started doing comedy and art again. And comedy didn't feel as like draining and hard. And the art kind of just started flowing again. I think during recovery, the paintings shifted a lot. My paintings will change so often because I guess, you know, as I'm moving through different mental states, it does reflect. But I've never found painting hard. Like it doesn't feel like a lot. It's almost just documenting my mental states. And my only job is to make sure that I'm being honest. Like it's weird. I don't find painting hard. I just find it almost cathartically. Sometimes I'll make a painting and be like, I tried to make a painting, and then it just feels a bit awkward. But usually they just feel like natural expressions, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. Sometimes I tried to do something and it's embarrassing, but that's funny, so it has value. I don't know.
I guess I totally get it. Hey, so do you
Oh, you
think
get it? Nice.
yeah, you know, once you've expressed your feelings, you know, of what you've been through, and you know, maybe even still what you're going through your art, and you feel like you've said everything you need to say, do you think that art might be still something that you want to carry through for the rest of your life? I don't know, that's hard to say now because you know what, who knows what tomorrow is. But do you think it's something that you have become really quite attached to, that you'll find something else to speak about through your art?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, what I've started realizing is that it's just a different communication medium. You know, I think like part of performing is really this need to communicate with people, you know, about what's happening inside your mind and your emotions and how you see the world. And verbal communication is very limited. And I think that visual communication allows you to express things that even you don't fully comprehend, but someone else resonates with. That's like a really interesting thing. When you make something and you're like, I don't even know what this is. And then someone sees it and goes, I feel something about this. You're like, wow, I just communicated with someone without even knowing, but that feels like me. So you can't always put those things into words. And I feel like that's what visual art can really be powerful in that sense. And so for myself, I find it very helpful to pair verbal communication through performing and stand up with the visual communication of art. And I think like that's like what I tried to do for the Adelaide Fringe, is kind of pairing those things together so they heighten both forms. And superimposed, it's more succinct. I can more pinpoint specific things because I'm using both forms of communication. So yeah, maybe I'll do other things in the future, make music, but I'm pretty enamored with making art at the moment.
Don't you find, Sam, that being a creative person, and clearly like the creative person, that you know, we do like to explore. Oh, what? Something's happened to us. Oh, there we go. Something, you know, we are, well, you know, we really like to explore and diverse. And, you know, a creative person doesn't like to stay in that box. They want to try that, and they want to try that, and they want to try that, and they want to try that. It's constantly exploring all these different avenues of, you know, being creative, essentially. Hey, so your 300 paintings, it was last year in Adelaide, and various other places, I'm sure. which is like huge, by the way. 300 paintings in like 5 months. Crazy.
It's a lot, yeah.
And no pun intended there. But but are we going to see any of those pieces in the 2024 exhibition that you have got going
Yeah,
on? Cool.
absolutely. I
I'm
think
looking forward to seeing it.
yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll have a work from each of the time-stamped months. So there'll probably be about 5 or 10 paintings from that period. It'll be about maybe 40% of the exhibition, and that will kind of timestamp my mental states throughout that period. But then, like, a lot of the work that I'm making now reflects back on that original work. So I think it's really going to be nice to have both in tandem. The work I make now is a lot bigger because I was originally painting on paper, like 2 meters paper sheets, and also canvas stretched over wood. And now I just buy 25 meters rolls of 2.5 meter canvas and put them on wooden bars and hang them like a scroll. So it makes it a lot easier for like shipping. I can just roll everything up and then just like bring down these tapestries to like overpower walls in very nice galleries, which I quite enjoy.
I get it. Sam Kissajukian, I know that you're an ex-Adelaide boy. You left Adelaide when you were 10, but why do you love coming back to the Adelaide Fringe? What is it about the Adelaide Fringe that wants or you need to be a part of it for?
Well, I think it's just like a melting pot of diversity in performing and expression. You know, it's I mean it's the biggest festival in Australia for performing arts, and I love being around all the different performers that are there. It's like very inspiring, and I think that it's nice to go where you're appreciated. I think I had a lot of venue support with both funding, and the people behind the Adelaide Fringe, like Joe Callahan, has been really amazing. And yeah, I'm excited to be there because people want me to be there. And I think like for what I'm doing, it's like I do kind of a little bit, I can't force it upon the world. I need to be like, hey, I'm making this thing and it's going to be difficult and it's going to be big and it's expensive to ship a bunch of art and put on a big show and housing and stuff. So I'm just one little man. I can't just turn up to a place and be like, hey, I brought my 25-meter U-shaped screen. Like, so it's nice to have that venue support, and there's people behind it. I have a team that have been helping me, and so I feel like Adelaide is the right place for that kind of thing, and I think it is for a lot of performers. It's a big festival, things can happen, and I think they have a very acquired taste in Adelaide. People like yourself have probably seen so much, so it's nice to be able to bring something different.
I'm so excited to see it. I'm a massive art lover, and an artist myself, so I'm super excited. Now, my friends, you are in, of course, the Adelaide Fringe Guide. If we
I am.
to the visual arts and design section, which is that beautiful olive green, we're going to find Sam's ad on where are we, Sam? I saw it here a second ago. Oh my lordy, there's so many things in this program.
There's so many. How do you find
Here
it?
we are.
It's like a Where's Molly.
We're on page 154, and you'll find Sam sitting right about there. So check
Oh, hello.
I know. Did you see? I'm going to put all the links up when we do this post anyway.
Oh, thank you.
But, get online, go to the Adelaide Fringe website and search for Sam Kissajukian. You'll see the spelling in the post. Get on board, get some tickets, because I think this show is going to be really quite exceptional. And what I like about Sam's work, everybody, is that, you know, he's telling his own story. And I think that is evidence of an authentic, really good show that's going to be seen.
Oh.
Sam, as we lead out, can you please maybe give me, I don't know if you've seen the program yet, I'm sure you have. Can you give me maybe a hot tip of another show that you want to see or that you would recommend?
What would be a show that I'd recommend? Is there a specific genre that you particularly like?
You go crazy, Sam. It's up to you.
I can go anything.
Anything.
Okay. Well, there is Frank. Do you know Frank?
I do not know, Frank.
No. I'm just going to list some out. I think Frank will be amazing. There is, if it depends if you want. If you want stand-up comedy, Amos Gill.
Oh,
I've been in Perth for the moment, and he's a very outspoken young man.
Amos,
Who,
incredible. I interviewed him
yeah.
just a couple of days ago, actually. Amazing.
Oh, really? He's very, very funny. Great, like really great comic. Not PC, but he backs himself. And I think in comedy, to really just put yourself out there and just be like, nah, this is what I think
Yep.
is a rare thing. And so he's really pushing the boundaries there. But he's been the one that's been doing fantastic at Perth Fringe. Everybody's talking about him in stand up. Yeah. So that would be my pick for stand up.
I love your choices. I love your selections, and I love your recommendations. Sam, I'm super duper looking forward to seeing you. It is only a week away till the Adelaide Fringe starts. It is literally pulling up at our doorstep right now, unloading the car and getting ready to start. So it's not far away. Sam,
No.
you finish off your little Perth run there. Get over to Adelaide as quick as you can, because I can't wait to see you at the Lightroom Gallery at the ILA in the city, just down the road there. I can't remember the name of the street, but it's not far away from my house. I could probably walk there if I was feeling physical, but I don't. We'll drive, we'll get an Uber. It is the 23rd of February to the 17th of March. It's called the Museum of Modernia. There we go.
Modernia.
We have been speaking to Sam Kissajukian. Sam, I wish you all the best for an incredibly successful 2024 Adelaide Fringe. Bye.
Thank you, Markus. Bye.